Hello, hi. What's your name?
My name is Parminder Singh Sokhi. I'm a Sikh, and I came to this country when I was about 9 months old. I was born in India. I've been back a few times. I speak Punjabi, Hindi, Gujarati, main sort of Indian languages, and obviously English.
How old are you?
I was 57 on Friday, just gone.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
You have any siblings?
I have 3 children with the same woman. They live in Islington. I'm actually an Islington person, and I've been in Bethnal Green for about 3.5 years.
Okay. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I had 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and at the moment now I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. My parents passed away, and my 3 brothers passed away.
Are you close with the rest of your...
Yes, yes. Well, my brother especially, I was close with him. I still am close with him. He lives in Brighton.
Okay. And your sisters, they all live there as well?
My sisters, they all live in England as well, but they live in, one of them lives in Hayes in Middlesex, and the other 2 live in Coventry in the Midlands.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Midlands until I was about 15, 16 years old, and then I moved to London.
Where did you move to?
I moved to central London, Holborn and Islington.
And what was life like growing up?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I can honestly say I've liked my life. And like I was saying to you, I was 57 on Friday, just gone. And yeah, I think I've not had a bad life really. I've made my life for myself. I haven't got any hang-ups or any grudges for my life being the way that it is or has been, because I've sort of moulded it myself, you know, like I've chosen to educate myself after school and go to college. I've done architectural technology, HND, Hires National Diploma. I've got sitting guilds in engineering, and I've been a builder most of my life.
What school did you go to?
I went to a comprehensive in Coventry until I was about 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what age did you introduce yourself to drugs?
When I was about 11, 12 years old.
You was 11 or 12?
Yeah.
And who introduced you to it?
Actually my brother, because I used to smoke cigarettes from when I was about 7, 8 years old. And he said to me, look, you're smoking. And I said, yeah. And he said, listen, why are you smoking cigarettes? They don't do nothing for you. If you're going to smoke, why don't you smoke something worth smoking? So he introduced me to cannabis, the solid form. And I'd already tried it anyway, but I kind of got into it more because I kind of felt like it's acceptable where my brother was, you know, smoking cannabis as well, and my friends were, that I grew up with. So yeah, it was like the norm really.
And at what age did from cannabis lead to you taking other substances?
About 15.
About 15?
Yeah.
Do you know what that was?
Yes, it was cocaine and LSD and speed sometimes, and then about 18, 19, it was heroin.
Who was that person that introduced you at the age of 15?
Friends of my brothers.
Friends of your brothers again?
That were at university.
So they were taking it themselves?
Yes.
And what were they on? What were they taking?
Well, they weren't really on anything as such like that. They weren't really addicted as such, but I think they probably progressed a little bit later in life than myself, whereas they were older, so they were kind of experimenting at university with different drugs, and heroin obviously came into the mix because, as people know, once you have tried heroin, it's like nothing else that anyone has ever tried. It's very addictive, and it can influence a person immensely.
So that was at the age of 19, you said?
Yeah.
So at the age of 15?
Cannabis, LSD.
And how did that make you feel? At the age of 15, trying these new substances, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel okay. It made me feel good because I like to sort of detach myself from reality and be in my own zone, if you like, because life wasn't always roses. It was, you know, I had a very strict upbringing. My father was a Sikh minister in a temple in Coventry in the West Midlands, and he was quite an influential man. He knew a lot of people in the community, and people used to come to my dad to you know, learn our language, how to read it, and how to learn to pray, and you know, he was quite influential. He had a lot of influence on the community.
And I assume he was quite strict as well.
He was very strict, very strict. No smoking, no drinking, no meat, no alcohol, no fish, no eggs, no nothing, you know. Strictly vegetarian, and nothing mind altering at all was allowed.
So when you took the heroin at the age of 19,
yeah,
how did that make you feel?
It made me feel very sort of, well, it was amazing. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. And I suppose it grabbed a hold of me, you know, like if somebody's running away and you grab them by the ankle and you don't let them go. It was kind of like that.
So you liked it straight away?
It made a really big impact on my life.
Like the first hit that you took?
Yes, the very first smoke of heroin, I thought it was amazing. It you know, it made me forget about my troubles and any worries and anything that I had on my mind, that anything in my life that was, you know, influenced me in any way. Heroin just, you know, numbed all of that, and it was euphoric. It was an amazing feeling, and that led to obviously addiction. And you know, to be honest, I've been addicted and unaddicted on a few occasions in my life, and I can honestly say it's because I've chosen to, because all my life I've taken drugs and I've actually liked them. I've taken drugs because I like taking drugs. It puts me in a different mindset, and it makes me feel better in myself. It compensates for a lot of things that I've had to deal with in my life. So, you know, it fills that void, that space, and that's the best way I can explain it, really.
Are you still on drugs now?
I'm not on drugs. You say, am I on drugs? I'm not on drugs, no. I do take drugs when and if I feel like, and not always. I'm not actually addicted to anything, but I do take drugs. I love smoking cannabis, and I like cocaine, I always have, and sometimes I smoke a bit of heroin.
How do you fund the habit?
Well, I don't really want to say how I found the habit. I try and keep it as legal as possible and manage with the money that I have. But I know a whole network of people in a whole variety of different areas that are quite happy and gladly sort of help me to compensate for drugs that I maybe couldn't afford to buy myself. So it's not always about me looking and going to buy drugs. I just know a lot of people, and you know, if I want drugs, it's not a problem. They're ready available.
What's the worst thing you've ever done to get money for drugs?
I've been an armed robber. I've robbed post offices, building sites, other places of work, wage snatches, different things that I've been convicted for, spent time in prison for. I'm not proud of, looking back now, as I've got older, but it was just part of my life. It's just something that I done because I wanted to, or maybe because I needed to. It was just part of my life. I never really frowned upon crime or anything like that. It was an existence. I mean, I'm educated, I have qualifications, I have, you know, engineering qualifications. I have a HND in architectural technology. I went to college for 3.5 years in Scotland, because I lived in Scotland for about 10 years. And yeah, it's not really been a problem for me.
How many years altogether have you spent in prison?
12 years altogether. Yes.
And what's the longest you've done in one straight go?
39 months.
39 months. So did you never get caught for your armed robberies?
Yes, I did.
You did? And
yeah.
What was the maximum sentence they've ever given you?
5 years.
Okay. So what weapons was involved?
Guns.
Just by yourself?
No.
Other people?
Other people, yeah.
Was there something that, when you was really, really dependent on drugs, is there anything that you wouldn't do to make money to go and get it?
Really, I haven't had really that mindset. I haven't been a fiend that has to, you know, get drugs, you know, or like, I'm not going to survive unless I have. No, there's been times that I've had to suffer not having drugs, and it hasn't really been for like an extended time as such, because, you know, like there's things like Subutex and methadone. If you do become addicted to heroin, that the government will quite happily, well, the doctor will quite happily prescribe to you, and yeah, so you don't really need to always be on a hustle on the street to get money, to get drugs, because if you do become addicted to heroin, then, you know, there are other ways and means to maintain your habit, and unfortunately through the National Health.
Are you on subscription at the moment?
I am indeed, actually, yes, I am. I'm on Subutex, which is a substitute for heroin. I've been on Subutex for about 2 years now, and yeah, I collect it from the chemist, and I take about, you know, 10 mils a day, 12 mils a day if I need to. But where I fluctuate between taking drugs and taking my medication, and sometimes I don't need my medication because I've had heroin, and there's other times when I haven't had money and I've got my prescription to rely on. So like, I don't get into that dark place of being sick, because that's a horrible place to be in.
So moving forward, where would you like to see yourself in the next few years?
Where would I like to see myself? Well, moving forward in the next few years, I will be driving a Bentley, living in a nice house. I will be, fortunately for me, I have some family inheritance coming my way. So I'm not really worried about anything that's to come in the future. I believe that we make our future, we make our presence, we make our life, and it's up to me, you know, where I want to be and where I want to be at. I don't blame anybody, but like I said, I'm just fortunate that I have some inheritance coming, so I'll be quite comfortable.
If you could be honest with me, when you get that inheritance,
yes,
what can you see yourself doing with that money?
Driving a Bentley, living in Barnet, maybe opening a little building business, employ about 4 or 5 people, just to keep busy really, because like I said, I'm 57 now. I was 57 on Friday, and I don't know, for the next 20 years, I think I've got that covered. I think I'll be alright. Actually, I'm quite sure I'll be alright, regardless of inheritance, anything like that. I'm not really a money motivated person. I'm not really like hungry for money like that, you know. I've survived up until now, and I don't think I've done too badly. I've done alright. I've not really leaned on anybody to be where I am, to live the way I live. I've done it for myself. I've created my life for myself, and I'm content with that.